But it's been raining, it's been cold, I've been unmotivated, I haven't had any projects to work on other than pull the radiator and gas tank out of the Heat Lightning Speed Shop Toyota pickup, and well, I haven't done that yet, mostly due to the weather. Here we are. It's Monday. Normally I have my videos uploaded on Tuesday. Basically nothing. I'm gonna go to pull apart and make this gas gauge work again. I think honestly this van sat for really long time. The last time it had emissions, the last paperwork in the vehicle was from 2001, and nothing really leads me to believe that it was used anything after 2001. So close to 20 years, maybe 20 years, this thing sat before I started messing with it, and it had fuel in the tank. So the tank was horrible, the filler neck was horrible, the sending unit was horrible. Ever so briefly, after cleaning it up the best I could when I put it back together, the gas gauge did work. The very first time I filled the tank after that, it never worked again. So the thought is I'll find some other Toyota I can get a sending unit out of. We'll rig it up, see if we can get it to fit inside this tank, and maybe have a gas gauge. To be fair, fuel level sending units probably use very similar ohm ranges from one make to another, and for probably all of the years, but I am trying to stay as close as possible to my year range because, well, I didn't do any research, and this place closes apparently in half an hour. So I found this X8 Cressida, but A, the tank looks like crap, and B, the sending unit's gone. Ugh. Keep walking. 85 Camry. Oh, this has got to be it. It's in great shape, actually. Really clean. So, the problem, however, with trying to find the oldest car possible. Wow, this thing was super clean. Holy cow. Anyway, this car probably sat for friggin' ever, so it's more likely to have a rusty one. So, who knows? Jesus, this thing's painfully clean inside. But look at that. Maybe this thing was damn near glued down, but hello, gentlemen. Icky. It is so clean. Crazy clean. Stance the heck out. Hell yeah. Laying rocker. Old Celica. Probably another one interchangeable. 89. Ow. I just stepped on a rock. Now that I actually physically have one that I think will work, a little less stressed, I can actually walk around and enjoy the yard a little bit. There's a 85 Prelude over there, which was my first car. Memories. Dang, look at that sick off-road rig. Not that one. That one. Man, stuck at this light, and this guy's setup is killer. Jesus, and it smells so good. It's killing me. I ain't got time for barbecue. He's got a deep fryer. He's got fries. I bet his brisket would knock me on my ass and make me just want to praise the Lord. And here I am, sitting in traffic instead. Ugh. Dang it. My dang dog, man, would already been home working on this thing. We're running out of daylight. But, well, my dog's out of food. He eats raw venison because, well, he's fancy. And, you know, small mom and pop shops, they close early. So the local feed store closes at 5. I got here at 5:50 to get his food. So, now we'll head home and work into the darkness and see if we can't get this fuel level sending unit, A, well, working. We don't even know. And B, installed, which means dropping the gas tank. So, I'm hoping I'm using up most of the gas that's in this thing so that I can not dump it all out all over the driveway when we drop the tank. We'll see. 450, not 550. That's what time I got to the feed store. Obviously, they weren't closed yet. So, first order of business, locate our fuel level sending unit plug. That's this one. You might imagine. Yeah. Well, it's 3-prong, so that's cool. It is different than this square plug, though. So, what do we got? We've got very filthy wires. Okay, we have red and yellow, white and black, yellow and blue. What do we got here? The same exact colors. So, we'll make, honestly, we're probably just going to depin this pin and slide it into those. Well, in the interest of time, I just lobbed the plug off. I figure if it works, I'll just cut this plug off. This plug off. Whoa. Definitely was going to plug that into the wrong side anyway. Anyway, cut this plug off and transfer it on to our new sending unit, assuming everything works. So, get her plugged up and test our ohm range, see if she works. Got the wires just pushed in there. Hopefully we're making some connection with some metal bits and pieces in there. Right now, with the sender upside down and the float flopped all the way like that, should read completely full on the gauge if I turn the key on. So, fingers crossed it does. Let's find out. Oh, ooh, beer. Well, so far no movement. Not a good sign. Went ahead and cut the plug off of the one on the vehicle, just so I was making sure I was getting good connections. And we've got action. Just sliding right on up. Look at there. Apparently it's only reading up to well, less than 3/4 of the tank. Fully empty on the arm on the sending units. Reads like dead on empty. I guess I really don't know how the low fuel light works. No idea how that sensor works. Tell me. I don't know. No idea. So I don't know if that works. That'd be cool if it did. So, next up, drop the gas tank. First order of business is going to be supporting the tank with a jack. Alright, down yonder we're going to have their filler neck. That's definitely going to pour out, so we'll maybe save that for later. Yep, and our straps, well, they're 12 millimeters. Fuel lines are long enough to give me a little bit of slack. Probably not on the return. I'm going to have to pull the return line off. Wish it wasn't so dirty down here. Some idiot off-roads this thing all the time. As a general rule of thumb, you know, unlike myself, maybe you should unbolt the tank before loosening any lines, because, well, this is a brushed cordless impact, and, well, the armature makes sparks. Now that everything's covered in gas, I probably shouldn't use it down here. And those are 14s, not 12s. Dang it. Dirt. This side, your straps have cotter pins, and then they're just a slide pin. I think my plan is actually to try to lower the tank down as much as possible without disconnecting fuel lines or the filler neck. See if we can just get it low enough. Probably can, actually. Should have thought of that first. Plenty of room to come down more. we'll keep an eye on the filler neck, but otherwise, the lines are good. Well, y'all can definitely see this better than I can, so that's nice. We're gonna bust these Phillips heads out. Hopefully, we can take the guts out of that other sending unit and put it in this, because that's a much larger ring. So, we might be wasting our time right now. Let's find out. Well, as it turns out, maybe my sending unit does work, because I pulled it out and, well, the arm is completely missing. So I guess we're magnet fishing to see if we can find the arm. I hear it. I don't know if we're gonna get it. Come on, little buddy. Come on. I just want to be friends. Come on, little buddy. Come on. I just want to be your friend. Okay. So I have it in my finger, but it's a very small hole, and my hand is cramping up. Crap. Ugh. Okay. Stick to the magnet. Gas magnet in my eye. Oh my God, I've got the float. It's right here. Ah! Well, this is inconvenient. Extremely inconvenient. After much more fishing, we successfully fished that bad boy out of there. Look at that. So, now the question then is going to become, is it easier to disassemble this and disassemble this, install these guts on this, or is it easier to trim this hat down to be that size, drill it out, and reinstall this with hopefully this arm just fits? I don't think this one's gonna work anymore. Honestly, the contact pad for the sweeper looks minty, rusty, but they're all there, intact. Well, upon some disassembly here, it turns out it looks like the shaft for the arm is kind of pressed into this little brass nut here, and that actually holds everything together. So I fear that if I pull this arm out, try to swap over to the other arm, I will not be able to successfully get it all back together. So I think we're either going to try to bend this and hopefully get the same length out of this, or just have to extend it. We got the super hot glue gun over there, so that might be the approach. Which means we're gonna have to cut this hat down to be this size. All right, well, we've got the arm clamped down to this little stopper to hopefully prevent doing any damage prying against the internals here. We're just gonna try to take that bend out. Might apply heat, might not. Well, unfortunately, with the bend taken completely out of this arm, we are still, 5-6 inches too short. So definitely gonna have to be a cut and weld scenario. Dang it. Good welds? Nope. Strong enough to do the job we're doing? Yep. I am a bit concerned that I didn't orient the float in the direction it needs to go, or in a direction that it'll clear this which it won't. But that also may or may not work. So we got to figure out what we're going to do with this too. Band-Aid. So after unscrewing this one off there so that I can get full sweep, also I ever so slightly nudged these stoppers open so that I can get a little bit more full sweep on here. I took the low fuel sensor off of that, and look at this. Exact same bolt pattern. Like it's meant to be. Welded on the sensor from the new sender to the old sender's longer arm, and then crimped the wires, which I have no idea whether or not that'll work because, well, I have no idea how this sensor actually works. Now that we've done all the tiny and delicate and dainty stuff, let's cut the whole top off. Idiot, probably should have started with that first. Anyway, no idea if this range of motion will work in the van. And no idea if A, this hangs low enough, or B, it can have crimps on it because, well, I don't know how these work. Also, I welded next to it. That might have fried it. I know nothing about low fuel lights, or really about anything about what I'm doing right now, but hey, here we are. So, guess we'll flip it over, trace this gasket where it'll work, and see if we can't shrink this thing down to this size. My best based on memory to try to orient the holes the way they needed to be to clear inside the gas tank. Basically still winging it, no idea what I'm doing. Then traced out the gasket, cut the shape, ended up catching my paper towel Band-Aid on fire with grinder sparks, so that was fun. Decided it didn't have to be perfectly round, and wow, drilling the holes ended up being an absolute disaster because, well, I didn't want to bend any arms. So we got holes in it. Definitely ended up having to open some of those up because they weren't right. Theoretically, all that stuff still works. Well, I guess inevitably the first step is plug it back in and make sure it's all working before we bother with the reinstall. Repositioned a little bit. She may or may not still be climbing. All right. Okay. Can't tell if I just drilled this one wrong or I'm having zero luck. But I can tell you what, this is extremely hard inside the vehicle. Oh. You're not claustrophobic, are you, huh? Not going well. Not going well at all. Literally can't move. Can't see. Great. We did it. It's back on there. All right, so between getting the holes I drilled and the holes in the gasket and the orientation in a manner that the arm can go up and down, that was a headache. It is in there though. So theoretically it works. Now just to put it all back together. Great. Yep, it's cold, but we're back up there. Sending units plugged in. Fuel pump's not on yet. Well, back in there, running, no fuel leaks, so that's pretty cool. Gas gauge is currently reading at half a tank, which is hopefully accurate. It definitely still has a lot of fuel in it. Guess here in a second we can run up the road, fill the tank up, see what the gas gauge does. But hey, that's a win in my book, because even if it's not accurate, once you learn what not accurate is, usually good. Okay, well, it is moving. Well, Mama, we made it. Put $20 in, and she's reading high and mighty, just over full. I guess now, over the course of the next week or so, got to drive it around, maybe carry some gas with me, and see how low she reads. I'd love to see if the low fuel light works, but I don't know if that'll work. Well, we got a brand new morning. Come out here, see if there's any puddles or anything under the van. Oh, nope. Okay. No fuel leaks. That's nice. The fuel pump is noisy, huh? Well, still got a full tank. Funny, because I only drove 3/4 of a mile last night, so obviously. But hey, look at there. Fuel pump. Noisy. Turn that off. But just goes to show, okay, parts discontinued for these vans. I'm sure they're out there. These vans were made for a lot of years in a lot of countries, and I'm sure that sending unit is available. However, trip to the local pull apart, $15, 85 Toyota Camry, and some elbow grease. Got a working fuel gauge in this thing. I am going to try to go ahead and post this video today-ish. So unfortunately, we won't be able to consult on whether or not the gas gauge goes all the way to the bottom, registers at E. But hey, you tell me what you think, and I'll reply in the comments and let you know whether or not she does. How about that?